LSU football, meanwhile, on the road for its regular season finale, making the trip to Norman for the first time ever and trying to play spoiler against number 8 Oklahoma. Opening drive for OU, 3rd and 6. John Mateer's pass is tipped and intercepted by Harold Perkins Jr. 7 speeds down the sideline and is pushed out of bounds inside the 5. Patrick Payton getting his hand on the pass. Now, I'm sure all of you were thinking, Perk, please run this in for a touchdown, because that seems to be the only way the Tigers will score touchdowns in the red zone this season, because Michael Van Buren would give the ball right back on the very next play. Peyton Bowen with the pick. Later on, it's 3-0 OU late in the first quarter. 4th and 1, they go for it, but Xavier Robinson is stuffed. Bernard Gooden, the first man in the backfield. Shortly after that, turnover on downs. LSU dials up a trick play, kind of like they did a bunch of times against Arkansas. Van Buren to Xavier Thomas. He finds Bauer Sharp on the pass, gain of 12 yards, and that sets up a Damian Ramos field goal to tie the game at 3. Same score with under a minute to go in the first half. 3rd and 1. Mateer gets stonewalled by Whit Weeks, and the Tiger defense holds. Got a 3-3 game as the teams head into the locker room. Opening drive of the second half. Mateer drops back to pass, throws over the middle. He is picked off by A.J. Halsey. He read it all the way, and now he's returning it the other way. 37 yards deep into Oklahoma territory. Sets up Van Buren in the offense with great starting field position. Here's a 3rd down and 1. The Mississippi State transfer keeps on a read option. Gets to the edge, inside the 5, and pushed out of bounds at the 2. Gain of 23 yards. On the very next play, Thomas in motion. That's where the throw goes. And he'll saunter in easily for the go-ahead touchdown. And don't look now, but it's 10-3 Tigers in the 3rd quarter. Let's skip ahead to the final 2 minutes of the 3rd frame. OU's offense, which kind of has been sporadic all season, finally lets out a roar. Mateer on the wide receiver screen to Deion Burks. 45-yard catch and run. And that gives this home crowd some life, and the game is tied at 10. To the 4th quarter, a few minutes in, Van Buren on 1st and 10 throws up a 50-50 ball, but when you got Trey'Dez Green on the outside, it's more like an 80-20 ball. That sets up a 43-yard Damian Ramos field goal. 13-10 LSU. The defense been great all day. Just needs maybe one more stop to ice this game, but instead the Sooners go up-tempo. And there's a bust in the coverage. Isaiah Satania wide open for a 58-yard score. Now it's 17-13. Still a chance for the Tigers to win with a touchdown. The game comes down to this. A 4th and 2 pass off the hand of Van Buren is deflected, incomplete. Oklahoma would take knees, ice the game from there. 17-13, the final score. Looked like the Tigers, with the way the defense had played, were bound for an upset here in Norman, but instead that valiant effort comes up just short. The Tigers losing their 5th game of the season. And for more, here's Jacques Doucet.
Well, news of a new LSU head football coach didn't break before the Tigers played the Oklahoma Sooners. It didn't break during the game, and by the time we had wrapped up our post-game press conferences and interviews, nothing new then either. The only thing that broke over that time span, unfortunately for LSU, was their defense. After holding Oklahoma down for so long, LSU, a bust in the secondary. They lose 17-13.
We kept the game where we wanted, where it was in the balance, and that it would come down to the back end where we would have a chance to win the football game. It came down to that. And unfortunately, we didn't make the play or plays to be able to attain victory. But again, very proud of our football team in the way that they competed. But for our football team, the bond, the brotherhood that has been unbreakable through all that they've been through, and they've been through quite a lot, they haven't given up on one another. And that's the proudest I am for this football team, that they did not give in, they did not retreat, that they stood shoulder to shoulder and back to back with one another.
I'm just grateful for everybody in the building, from top to bottom. I told them that no matter how many head coaches I have, no matter how many DCs I have, no matter how many line coaches I have, I'm just grateful from everybody top to bottom. And I'm just appreciative of what LSU has done for me and my family, and I just can't wait to see what happens going forward.
Yeah, I love LSU. As long as LSU will have me, I'd love to be a part of what we're doing here.
So talk about a misleading start. LSU begins the year 4-0. They won that season opener at Clemson. They got into the top 5 of the national rankings. But down the stretch, LSU loses 5 of their final 8 games of the regular season. They're now 7-5, nowhere near the playoff discussion, and will await an invitation to a bowl game. In Norman, Oklahoma, Jacques Doucet, WAFB 9 Sports.